Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Horizon, watching the stars move slowly past the main screen. The ship had been traveling through space for 3 months now, looking for new planets and signs of alien life. So far, they had found nothing but empty rocks and dead worlds. Jake was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been in space for 15 years, and this was his first command of a deep space mission. The Horizon was not a big ship, but it was fast and well built. It carried a crew of 48 people, all experts in their fields. "Captain," called Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez from her station, "I'm getting something strange on the communications array." Amy was the ship's communications officer. She was young, maybe 25, with short black hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. She had been working at her station for the past hour, trying to boost the signal range of their equipment. "What kind of strange?" Jake asked, walking over to her station. "It's a signal, sir, but it's not from Earth or any of our colonies. Frequency is completely different from anything we use." Amy's fingers moved quickly over her controls. "It's very weak, but it's definitely artificial. Someone or something is transmitting this." Jake felt his heart beat faster. This could be it. This could be first contact with alien life. He had dreamed of this moment since he was a child, reading about space exploration in old books. "Can you clean it up, make it stronger?" he asked. "I'm trying, sir. Give me a few minutes." Amy worked at her station, her face focused and serious. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of the ship's engines and the beeping of various computers. Dr. Sam Phillips, the ship's science officer, came over to listen. Sam was a thin man with thick glasses, who knew more about alien languages and cultures than anyone else on the ship. He had studied every theory about how aliens might communicate. "There," Amy said suddenly. "I've got it." The speakers crackled to life, and a strange sound filled the bridge. It was not like any human language. The sounds were musical, almost like singing, but with clicking noises mixed in. Sometimes the sounds went very high, then very low, like waves on an ocean. "My God," Sam whispered, "it's beautiful. And it's definitely not natural. This is language, Captain. Alien language." Jake stared at the speakers as if he could see the aliens through them. "How far away is it coming from?" Amy checked her instruments. "The signal is coming from the Kepler 442 system, sir. That's about 40 light years from here. But the signal is very old. It took 40 years to reach us." "Can you understand any of it?" Jake asked Sam. Sam shook his head. "Not yet, but I can tell it's repeating. The same message over and over. That usually means it's important. Maybe an emergency signal." Jake called his senior officers to the bridge. Soon, Security Chief Lisa Bennett arrived. Lisa was a former Marine, tough and smart, with short blonde hair and muscles that showed she worked out every day. Behind her came Engineer Tony Clark, a big man with red hair and hands that were always dirty from working on the ship's engines. "Play it again," Jake ordered. They all listened to the strange alien song. Even though they could not understand the words, there was something in the tone that made them feel sad and worried. It sounded like crying, like someone asking for help. "Sir," Amy said after running the signal through the computer. "The computer is starting to find patterns. It thinks this might be a distress call." "A distress call?" Lisa asked. "You mean they're in trouble?" "That's what it looks like," Sam said. He was working at another computer, trying to break down the language. "The patterns suggest urgency, fear, and the signal is getting weaker." Jake felt a cold feeling in his stomach. If this was a distress call, it meant aliens were dying while the signal traveled through space. By the time the message reached Earth, it might be too late to help anyone. How long would it take us to get to the Kepler 442 system? He asked Tony. Tony thought for a moment. At full speed, maybe 6 weeks. But Captain, we're not a military ship. We have no weapons, no Marines. Just scientists and explorers. I know what we are, Jake said. But we might be the only ones who can help. Lisa stepped forward. Sir, Earth Command has rules about this. We're not supposed to interfere in alien affairs. And we don't even know what we'd be getting into. Jake stared at the main screen, thinking. Hard, the rules were clear. Earth ships were supposed to observe and report, not get involved. But how could he ignore a cry for help? How could anyone ignore it? Amy, keep working on that signal. I want to know everything we can learn from it. Sam, start working on the language. Maybe we can understand what they're saying. And if we figure out they really need help. Lisa asked. Jake was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. Then, we send a message to Earth Command and tell them what we found. After that, we'll see. But in his heart, Jake already knew what he would do. He had not come to space to watch aliens die while he followed rules made by people who had never left Earth. He had come to explore, to help, to make a difference. Alien song continued to play softly in the background, a cry for help that had traveled through the darkness of space for 40 years, hoping someone would hear it and care enough to answer. Admiral Patrick Hayes sat in the big meeting room at Earth Command headquarters, staring at the message from the USS Horizon. The room was full of the most important military officers on Earth, and they all looked worried that the alien distress signal played from the speakers for the 3rd time. Even though the computer had cleaned up the sound, it still sent chills down Patrick's spine. 40 years, this message had traveled through space, and now they had to decide what to do about it. Turn it off, Patrick said. The room became quiet. General Susan Wright, head of Earth's Space Marines, spoke first. We all heard Captain Morrison's report. The signal is definitely from aliens, and it's probably a call for help. The question is, what do we do about it? Patrick looked around the table at the faces of Earth's military leaders. Some looked excited, others worried, and a few looked scared. This was the moment they had all trained for, but none of them had expected it to happen like this. Admiral Carlos Martinez, head of the Space Fleet, leaned forward. Our ships are not ready for alien contact. We built them to explore and defend Earth, not to fight unknown enemies in distant star systems. But we can't just ignore this, said Dr. Rebecca Foster. Rebecca was not a military officer. She was Earth's top expert on alien life, a scientist who had spent her whole career preparing for this moment. She was small and thin, with gray hair and eyes that seemed to see everything. Dr. Foster is right, Patrick said. We can't pretend this didn't happen. But we also can't rush into something we don't understand. General Wright pulled up a star map on the big screen. The Kepler 442 system is 40 light years away. If we send ships now, it will take them weeks to get there. By then, whatever is happening might be over. But if we don't go, and these aliens die because we are too scared to help, how will we live with ourselves? Rebecca asked. Her voice was quiet but strong. This could be our first chance to meet another intelligent species. We might be their only hope. Patrick rubbed his tired eyes. He had been in the military for 30 years, and he had never faced a decision this big. Everything he chose could change the future of humanity. What do we know about the aliens sending this signal? He asked. Rebecca opened her computer files. Captain Morrison's science officer has learned quite a bit. The aliens call themselves the Valari. Their language is very complex, with sounds and light patterns. They seem to be peaceful. Their message talks about art, beauty, and harmony. And who is attacking them? Something called the Kreth Dominion. The Valari message describes them as destroyers who take everything and give nothing back. They sound like a warrior race that conquers other planets. Admiral Martinez looked worried. If these Kreth are as dangerous as they sound, sending our ships could be suicide. We have 12 warships total. What if that's not enough? Patrick stood up and walked to the big window that looked out over Earth. He could see the blue oceans and white clouds of his home planet. For the first time in human history, Earth might not be alone in the universe. But they might also have found their first enemy. "Sir," said Colonel Ben Parker, head of ship design, "our weapons are good, but we don't know what alien technology can do. We could be flying into a trap. Or we could be the only thing standing between a peaceful species and extinction." Rebecca said. The room was quiet for a long time. Finally, Patrick turned back to face the group. "I want to know everything about our military capabilities. Admiral Martinez, how many ships can we send without leaving Earth defenseless?" Carlos thought for a moment. "We could send 8 ships, and still keep 4 here to protect Earth. The USS Defiance would be the flagship. She's our newest and strongest." "Who would command the fleet?" "Admiral Kate Reynolds. She's our best fleet commander, and she has experience with deep space operations." Patrick knew Kate well. She was tough, smart, and careful. If anyone could handle first contact with hostile aliens, it would be her. "General Wright, what about Marines?" Susan smiled. "We have 2 full Marine battalions ready for space combat. Colonel Alex Thompson and Major Sarah Mitchell are the best officers we have. They've trained for boarding actions and ground combat in spacesuits." Patrick walked back to his chair, but did not sit down. "Dr. Foster, if we do this, we'll need you to come with us. Someone has to talk to these Velari aliens." Rebecca nodded. "I've been preparing for this my whole life, Admiral. I won't let you down." "Sir," said General Wright, "there's something else to think about. If we help these Velari, we'll be choosing sides in an alien war. The Kreth might decide that makes us their enemy too." Patrick had thought about this. Once humans fired the first shot at aliens, there would be no going back. Earth would no longer be hidden and safe. They would be part of the galaxy, with all the dangers that meant. "Maybe," he said. "But if we let the Kreth destroy the Velari, what happens when they come looking for more planets to conquer? What happens when they find Earth?" The room was silent again. Everyone knew Patrick was right. If the Kreth were conquerors, they would not stop with the Velari. Sooner or later, they would find Earth. "I'm authorizing the mission," Patrick said. "Admiral Martinez, I want the fleet ready to leave in 48 hours. Dr. Foster, you'll go with them as our first alien ambassador. General Wright, load those ships with Marines and weapons." "Yes, sir," they all said together. As the meeting ended and people started to leave, Rebecca came over to Patrick. "Are you sure about this?" she asked. Patrick looked out the window again at the beautiful blue planet that was humanity's home. "No," he said, "but it's the right thing to do. And sometimes that's all you can be sure about." The next 2 days were the busiest in Earth Command's history. Ships were loaded with weapons, food, and fuel. Marines practiced fighting in zero gravity. Scientists worked around the clock to build translation computers. And in the back of everyone's mind was the same thought. Humanity was about to meet the stars, and nothing would ever be the same again. The 8 ships of Earth's first interstellar fleet moved through hyperspace like silver arrows shot into the darkness. Admiral Kate Reynolds stood on the bridge of the USS Defiance, watching the strange colors that swirled outside the windows. When a ship traveled faster than light, Kate was 45 years old, with short brown hair and scars on her hands from her early days as a fighter pilot. She had commanded ships for 15 years, but this was different. This time, she was not just protecting Earth. She was carrying humanity's hopes into the unknown. "Admiral," said Commander Ryan Miller, her tactical officer, All ships are reporting normal status. We should reach the Kepler 442 system in 18 days. Ryan was young for his rank, only 30, but he was the smartest tactical mind in the fleet. He could see patterns in space battles that other officers missed. Tate trusted his judgment completely. Good. How are the crew preparations going? Marine training is going well, ma'am. Colonel Thompson has his people ready for anything. Dr. Foster is making good progress with the alien language. Kate nodded. The journey to Kepler 442 would take 3 weeks, and she wanted her people ready for whatever they found when they got there. Every day, the Marines practiced fighting in the tight spaces of alien ships. Every day, the ship crews ran battle. Drills until they could load and fire weapons with their eyes closed. Down in the Marine section of the ship, Colonel Alex Thompson watched his soldiers practice boarding tactics. Alex was a big man with gray hair and arms covered in tattoos from his 20 years in the Marines. He had fought in 3 wars on Earth, but never against aliens. Again, he shouted as his Marines practiced cutting through a metal door with laser tools. You think the aliens are going to wait for you to figure out how their doors work? Faster. Major Sarah Mitchell stood beside him, watching the drill. Sarah was smaller than most of the Marines, but she was faster and smarter than all of them. She had joined the Marines at 18 and worked her way up through pure skill and determination. How do you think they'll fight? She asked Alex. No idea, Alex said. But humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We know every dirty trick, every way to win when you're outnumbered. These aliens might be stronger or have better technology, but I bet they don't know how to be as mean as we can be. In another part of the ship, Dr. Rebecca Foster worked with her team to understand the Velari language. She had been studying the alien message for weeks now, and slowly words were starting to make sense. Look at this, she said to Dr. Paul Anderson, her language expert. Paul was a thin man with thick glasses who spoke 12 Earth languages fluently. The Velari don't seem to have words for war or kill or destroy. They have to use long phrases to describe violence. That supports our theory that they're peaceful, Paul said. But what about these Kreth? What do we know about them? Rebecca pulled up another file. The Velari described them with words that translate to darkness that devours and destroyers. Of harmony, it sounds like the Kreth destroy everything they touch. A warrior species, Paul said. The opposite of the Velari. Yes, and according to the message, the Kreth have been attacking Velari worlds for months. They're not trying to conquer the planets. They're trying to wipe out the Velari completely. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Admiral Reynolds received a message from Captain Morrison on the USS Horizon. Jake's ship had reached the Kepler 442 system 3 days ago and was watching the situation from a safe distance. Admiral, Jake's voice crackled through the speakers. The situation here is worse than we thought. The Kreth have destroyed 2 more Velari planets since we arrived. Their ships are big, maybe twice the size of ours, and they have weapons that can burn the surface of a planet. Kate felt a chill run down her spine. How many Kreth ships? We count 36 warships, plus support vessels. They're organized into attack groups, hitting different planets at the same time. Admiral, they're not just conquering these worlds. They're sterilizing them. Nothing will ever live on those planets again. The bridge crew exchanged worried looks. 36 ships against 8. The numbers were not good. But Kate had not come this far to turn around. Any sign that they've detected you? No, ma'am. We're staying hidden in the asteroid belt. But, Admiral, there's something else. We've been monitoring their communications. The Kreth language is much simpler than the Velari language, but we've figured out some basic words. They keep talking about soft meat and weak singers. I think that's what they call the Velari. Kate's jaw tightened. The Kreth were not just conquerors. They were killers who enjoyed their work. Keep watching, Captain. We'll be there in 15 days. Yes, ma'am? And Admiral? The Velari are still broadcasting their distress signal. They know we're coming. They're asking their gods to protect the hard-shell warriors from the distant star. I think they mean us. After the call ended, Kate called her senior officers to a meeting. Around the table sat Commander Miller, Colonel Thompson, Major Mitchell, Dr. Foster, and the captains of the other 7 ships, all connected by video link. You all heard Captain Morrison's report, Kate said. We're outnumbered 4-1, and the enemy has bigger ships. Anyone want to suggest we turn around? Colonel Thompson spoke first. Ma'am, with respect, numbers don't mean everything. These Kreth have been fighting farmers and artists. They've never fought humans. They don't know what they're up against. Alex is right, said Major Mitchell. Humans have been predators for millions of years. We know how to hunt, how to fight, how to survive. These aliens might have bigger guns, but do they have our instincts? Dr. Foster leaned forward. There's something else to consider. The Velari message describes the Kreth as following strict hierarchies. They do what their leaders tell them, without question. That might be a weakness we can exploit. Commander Miller pulled up tactical displays on the screen. I've been studying the data from Captain Morrison. The Kreth attack in straight lines, like a parade. They don't seem to understand concepts like flanking or ambush tactics. They just point their ships at the enemy and charge. Kate looked around the table at the faces of her officers. They were scared, but they were also ready. These were the best humanity had to offer, and they would not back down from a fight, no matter the odds. All right, then, she said. We go. In as planned. Dr. Foster, I want you to establish contact with the Velari as soon as we arrive. Let them know help is coming. Colonel, get your Marines ready for boarding actions. If we can capture some Kreth ships, we can even the odds. Yes, ma'am, they all said as the meeting ended. Kate stayed behind to look at the tactical displays. 8 human ships against 36 alien vessels. On paper, it looked like suicide. But Kate had learned something important during her years. In command, humans were at their best when the odds were against them. In 15 days, the galaxy would learn what Earth's children could do when someone threatened the innocent. The Kreth Dominion was about to discover why humanity had become the dominant species on a world where everything tried to kill everything else. The fleet continued its journey through hyperspace, carrying Earth's warriors toward their first battle among the stars. The human fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system, and Admiral Kate Reynolds felt her breath catch in her throat. Even from millions of miles away, she could see the glow of burning planets. My God, whispered Commander Miller, they're really doing it. They're destroying everything. On the main screen, 3 Velari worlds burned like dying suns. The Kreth ships moved between them like black insects, their weapons turning beautiful cities into glass and ash. Kate had seen war before, but never anything like this. Get me Captain Morrison, she ordered. Jake's face appeared on the screen. Within minutes, he looked tired and angry. Admiral Reynolds. Thank God you're here. Report, Captain. The Kreth are finishing their attack on the outer planets. They've destroyed 6 Velari worlds completely. There's 1 planet left, the Velari. Homeworld. It's protected by some kind of energy shield, but the Kreth are attacking it with everything they have. Kate could see it now on the long-range sensors. 1 last planet, glowing blue and green like Earth, surrounded by a shimmering dome of energy. Around it, like wolves around a dying fire, circled the Kreth fleet. Have you made contact with the Velari? Yes, ma'am. Dr. Foster's translation programs worked. The Velari leader, someone called Harmonist Prime Zeftai, is waiting to speak with you. Kate took a deep breath. Put him through. The screen changed, and Kate found herself looking at her first alien. Zeftai was beautiful in a way that was completely unlike any human. His skin seemed to glow with soft blue light, and his eyes were large and kind. When he spoke, his voice was like music. Admiral Kate Reynolds of Earth, the alien said through the translation computer. You have traveled far to answer our call. We are grateful beyond words. Harmonist Prime, Kate replied, hoping the translation worked both ways. We received your distress signal. We're here to help. Your species is unknown to us, but your hearts shine with courage. The destroyers have taken everything. Our art, our children, our songs. Soon they will break through our last protection, and the Velari will sing no more. Kate felt anger rise in her chest. Not if we have anything to say about it. How long can your shield hold? Perhaps one day, perhaps less. The destroyer's weapons grow stronger with each attack. Before Kate could respond, alarms started blaring. On the bridge, Admiral called Lieutenant Helen Carter from the sensor station. Kreth ships are moving to intercept us. 12 vessels, approaching fast. Kate smiled grimly. So much for sneaking up on them. All ships, battle stations. Dr. Foster, keep this channel open to the Velari. I want them to see what humans can do. The Kreth ships were massive, twice the size of the human vessels, with hulls that looked like black metal and weapons that glowed red like angry eyes. As they approached, a message came through on the communication system. The voice that spoke was harsh and full of contempt. Unknown vessels, you enter the domain of the Kreth Dominion. We are War Leader Vextal. Surrender your ships, and we will grant you quick death. Kate stood up from her command chair. This is Admiral Kate Reynolds of the human fleet. We're here to protect the Velari. Leave this system now, and we'll let you live. There was silence for a moment, then the sound that might have been alien laughter. Humans? We have never heard of your species. You pilot small ships and make empty threats. We will destroy you quickly and return to our true work. Your funeral, Kate said, and cut the channel. All ships, attack formation beta. Target their lead vessels. Show them how Earth fights. The battle began with the Kreth doing exactly what Commander Miller had predicted. They formed a straight line and charged at the human ships, firing their big guns in a steady rhythm. It was impressive, and it would have destroyed any enemy that fought the same way. But humans had learned to fight, dirty during millions of years of evolution. Kate's ships scattered like a flock of birds, moving in patterns that confused the Kreth targeting systems. The USS Thunderstrike and USS Vengeance came at the Kreth from above and below, while the USS Retribution and USS Warrior attacked from the sides. Their guns are powerful, reported Captain Julie Roberts from the Thunderstrike, but they can't track us when we move this fast. Kate watched her ships dance around the bigger Kreth vessels, like fighters around a heavyweight boxer. The aliens had size and power, but humans had speed and cunning. Miller, target analysis, she ordered. The Kreth ships have heavy armor in front, but their sides and rear are weaker. Their weapons are fixed forward, limited turning ability. Admiral, they fight like they're still in the Stone Age. Kate grinned. All ships, focus fire on the rear sections. Let's see how tough they really are. The human ships swarmed around the Kreth fleet, hitting them from directions they couldn't defend. The USS Defiance led the charge, its weapons cutting through Kreth armor like a knife through paper. One by one, the alien ships began to explode, but the Kreth were not stupid. They were just used to fighting enemies who stayed still and traded shots. when they realized their formation was useless. They tried to adapt. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Carter, "the remaining Kreth ships are breaking formation. They're trying to surround us." "Good," Kate said. "Now we find out how good they really are." The battle changed from a one-sided slaughter to a real fight. The Kreth ships moved more carefully now, trying to use their superior firepower to box in the human vessels. But every time they thought they had a human ship trapped, it would slip away, or its friends would attack from an unexpected direction. Captain Morrison brought the USS Horizon into the fight, even though his ship had no weapons. "Admiral, I can use my ship to confuse their sensors. Make them think we're a warship." "Do it, Jake. Every little bit helps." The Horizon dove and weaved through the battle, drawing Kreth fire away from the real warships. Jake's crew worked like heroes, keeping their ship in one piece while enemy weapons blasted all around them. On the USS Defiance, Major Mitchell prepared her Marines for boarding actions. "Colonel Thompson, the Admiral wants us to capture one of those ships. Can we do it?" Alex Thompson checked his weapons and grinned. "Sarah, we've been waiting our whole lives for this. Let's show these aliens what Marines can do." The boarding. Pods launched from the human ships like bullets, carrying teams of Marines toward the damaged Kreth vessels. The aliens had never faced anything like this. They were used to fighting ship to ship, not hand to hand. The first Marines to board a Kreth ship found themselves facing creatures that looked like giant lizards with arms like tree trunks and teeth like knives. The Kreth were strong, but they moved slowly and fought without tactics. "They're big," reported Sergeant Nick Davis over the radio, "but they fight like animals. No coordination, no strategy. Just charge forward and try to bite you." The Marines, trained in close-quarters combat since they were teenagers, cut through the Kreth defenders like a sword through silk. Within minutes, they had captured the alien ship's bridge. "Admiral," Thompson reported, "we've got one of their ships. The crew is either dead or running. These things might be tough, but they don't know how to fight in small spaces." Kate watched as more Kreth ships fell to human weapons. The aliens were learning, but too slowly. They had spent so long conquering peaceful species that they had forgotten how to fight real warriors. "War Leader Vextal is signaling us," reported the communications officer. Kate smiled coldly. "Put him through. Let's hear what he has to say now." The Kreth leader's voice was no longer confident. "Human Admiral, your species fights unlike any we have encountered. We did not expect such ferocity from such small creatures. You picked the wrong species to mess with," Kate said, "and you definitely picked the wrong victims to slaughter. The Velari are under our protection, though. This is not possible. The Kreth Dominion has conquered 100 worlds. You cannot defeat us." Kate looked at her tactical display. Of the 12 Kreth ships that had attacked them, only 3 remained. The rest were either destroyed or captured. "Want to bet?" she asked, and ordered her ships to finish the job. The last 3 Kreth vessels tried to run, but human ships were faster. They died one by one, their weapons silent and their crews floating in the cold of space. As the battle ended, Kate opened the channel to the Velari homeworld. Harmonist Prime Zeftai appeared on the screen, his glowing skin brighter than before. "Admiral Reynolds," he said, his voice full of wonder, "you have done something we thought impossible. You have defeated the destroyers in open battle." Kate looked out at the burning planets and felt both pride and sadness. "We've won one fight, Harmonist Prime, but there are still 24 Kreth ships attacking your world. This war isn't over yet." Zeftai's large eyes seemed to shine with new hope. "But now we believe it can be won. The songs of Earth will be remembered forever in the harmony of our people." Kate nodded. "Save the songs for after we finish this." All ships moved toward the Velari homeworld. Time to end this. The human fleet began moving toward the last battle, where the fate of 2 species would be decided among the stars. Admiral Kate Reynolds watched the Velari homeworld grow larger on the main screen as her fleet approached. The planet was beautiful, covered in blue oceans and green continents, with white clouds swirling through its atmosphere. It looked a lot like Earth dot, but around the planet. The remaining Kreth fleet hammered at the energy shield with weapons that lit up space like lightning. Every few seconds, the shield flickered and dimmed. It was failing. How long does the shield have left? Kate asked Dr. Foster, who was still in contact with the Velari. Harmonist Prime says maybe 4 hours, maybe less. The Kreth have been attacking for days without stopping. Kate studied her tactical display. 24 Kreth ships against her 8. Still not good odds, but better than the 4-1 they had started with. And now she knew the aliens' weaknesses. "Admiral," Commander Miller said quietly, "I've been analyzing the Kreth formation around the planet. They're not ready for an attack from outside. All their weapons are pointed at the shield." Kate smiled. "They think they're safe because they destroyed the Velari fleet. They don't expect anyone to attack them from behind." "It gets better," Miller continued. "Look at this." He pointed to the largest Kreth ship, a massive vessel that was 3 times bigger than any other. That's their command ship. It's directing the attack on the shield. If we can take it out, the rest of their fleet will lose coordination. Kate had seen this before in battles against pirates and rebels. Take out the leader and the followers. Panic. It was a human concept that worked because humans understood pack behavior. Maybe it would work on aliens too. "All ships, listen carefully," she broadcast to her fleet. "We're going in fast and hard. Target the big ship first. Once their command structure breaks down, we mop up the rest." Captain Morrison's voice came through from the horizon. "Admiral, my ship still has no weapons. How can we help?" Kate thought for a moment. "Jake, I want you to broadcast on all frequencies. Tell the galaxy what's happening here. Tell them that Earth stands with the innocent against the destroyers." "Yes, ma'am." "It would be my honor." The human fleet accelerated toward the Kreth formation. Kate felt the familiar feeling she always got before a battle, a mixture of fear and excitement that made her feel more alive than anything else. The Kreth were so focused on destroying the Velari shield that they didn't notice the approaching human ships until it was too late. The first warning they got was when the USS Defiance's weapons tore into the rear. Armor of their command vessel. War-Leader Vextal's voice screamed through the communication system. "Impossible. How did you get behind us?" "We're humans," Kate replied as her ships swarmed around the Kreth fleet. "We don't fight fair." The battle was different this time. The Kreth, surprised and angry, fought with more desperation. But they also made more mistakes. Some ships stopped attacking the shield to fight the humans. Others kept attacking the shield and ignored the human ships completely. They had no plan, no coordination. "Their command ship is taking heavy damage," reported Captain Roberts from the Thunderstrike. "But it's tough. Going to take a while to crack it." Kate watched as Kreth ships began to break away from the planet to attack her fleet. This was what she had hoped for. Every ship that came after her was one less ship attacking the Velari. "Colonel Thompson, are your Marines ready for another boarding action?" Alex Thompson's voice came back full of confidence. "Admiral, my boys and girls are ready to take on anything. Just point us at a target. That big command ship. I want it captured, not destroyed. Can you do it?" "Consider it done, ma'am." The boarding pods launched again, carrying human Marines toward the massive Kreth command vessel. But this time, the aliens were ready for them. Kreth soldiers waited at the airlocks with weapons and claws. The fighting inside the alien ship was brutal. and close. The Kreth were bigger and stronger than humans, but the Marines had better tactics and deadlier weapons. Sergeant Nick Davis led his squad through the ship's corridors, fighting room by room toward the bridge. "These things are tough," he reported, over the radio. "But they're not smart. They just charge straight at us. Makes them easy to predict." Major Mitchell coordinated the assault from the USS Defiance, watching her Marines' progress on tactical displays. "Squad 2, go left at the next junction. Squad 3, watch your 6. There are Kreth coming up behind you." The battle for the command ship raged while the space battle continued around them. Human ships danced between the bigger Kreth vessels, hitting them from unexpected angles and disappearing before the aliens could respond. But the humans were taking damage too. The USS Warrior lost her main engines and had to fall back. The USS Thunder took a direct hit that knocked out half her weapons. The Kreth might not be good tacticians, but their guns were powerful. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Carter, "the Velari. Shield is failing faster. The Kreth attack is destabilizing it." Kate felt time running out. If the shield fell before they stopped the Kreth, millions of Velari would die. She had to take a risk. "All ships, focus everything on that command vessel. Stop shooting at the other ships. Everything we have on the big one." It was dangerous. The other Kreth ships would be free to attack her fleet. But if they could capture or destroy the command ship, it might be worth the risk. 8 human ships turned all their weapons on the massive Kreth vessel. The alien ship's armor began to crack and burn under the concentrated fire. Inside, the Marines fought their way closer to the bridge. "We're almost there," reported Colonel Thompson. "But they've got some kind of super soldier guarding the bridge. This thing is twice the size of the others, and it's smart." Kate could hear the sounds of battle through the radio. Gunfire, explosions, and the roars of angry aliens. Her Marines were fighting for their lives in the belly of an alien ship, and there was nothing she could do to help them. "Thompson, if it gets too hot, pull your people out. No ship is worth losing you. Negative, Admiral. We didn't come this far to quit now. Earth Marines don't retreat." The space battle reached its climax as the human ships pressed their attack on the command vessel. The Kreth ship's weapons fell silent one by one as the Marines inside destroyed its control systems. Then, suddenly, Colonel Thompson's voice came through the radio, calm and professional. "Admiral Reynolds, this is Colonel Thompson. The alien command ship is secure. War leader Vextal is dead, and we control their bridge." Kate felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Outstanding, Colonel. Can you use their communications to contact the other Kreth ships?" "Already working on it, ma'am." "And Admiral, you need to see what we found on their computers. These aliens have been planning to attack Earth." Kate's blood went cold. The Kreth had known about humanity all along. This attack on the Velari was just practice for something bigger, but that was a problem for later. Right now, she had a battle to finish. "All Kreth vessels," she broadcast on their communication frequency. "This is Admiral Reynolds. Your war leader is dead. Your command ship is captured. Surrender now, and we'll let you leave this system alive." The response was not what she expected. Instead of surrendering, the remaining Kreth ships began attacking each other. Without their leader, the aliens fell into chaos, fighting among themselves to decide who was in charge. "They're destroying themselves," Commander Miller said in amazement. "They can't function without someone telling them what to do." Within an hour, the Kreth fleet was gone. Some ships had fled the system. Others had been destroyed by their own allies in the power struggle. A few had surrendered to the humans and been taken prisoner. The Velari shield finally failed, but there were no more enemies to attack the planet below. The homeworld was safe. Kate opened a channel to Harmonist Prime Zeftai. The alien leader appeared on the screen, his skin glowing brighter than ever. "Admiral Reynolds," he said, his musical voice full of emotion, "the Valari owe you a debt that can never be repaid. You have saved not just our lives, but our entire civilization." "It was the right thing to do," Kate replied. "No one should have to face extinction alone." "We have much to offer in friendship," Zeftai continued. "Our technology, our knowledge, our art, all of it is yours to share." Dr. Foster leaned forward excitedly. "Admiral, the Velari have technologies we've never dreamed of. Energy shields, faster-than-light communication, medical techniques that could save millions of lives on Earth." Kate nodded. "We accept your friendship, Harmonist Prime, and we offer ours in return. Earth will stand with the Velari against any threat." Over the following days, human and Velari scientists worked together to share knowledge. The aliens were amazed by human military tactics and technology. The humans were astounded by Velari achievements in medicine and energy manipulation. Captain Morrison established the first human embassy on the Velari homeworld, with Dr. Foster as Earth's first alien ambassador. The two species began planning joint missions to help other civilizations threatened by the Kreth Dominion dot, but the most important discovery came from the captured Kreth computers. The aliens had detailed maps of the galaxy, showing the locations of hundreds of intelligent species. Most of them were peaceful, like the Velari, and many of them were under attack by various predator races. Kate stood on the bridge of the USS Defiance, looking out at the Velari homeworld where humans and aliens worked together for the first time. She thought about the mess